Now we've got some more prizes to give away. Some lovely Dungarvan coffee oatmeal beer, I think, in a nice glass. Again, drink responsibly over Christmas. GIY book to give out there as well, and another cookbook and some GIY seeds as well. So we have those to give out, and all you have to do as a prize is text in Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells. Text in the words Jingle Bells to 083 333 975, or you can call Audrey on 051, Laura even, 051 846 123. I don't want people texting in Merry Christmas, because I actually don't like Merry Christmas. I'm a Happy Christmas person myself. That's what I want to say. A sport which Gavin is very interested in promoting. I know Dan McGrath was very interested in promoting, is boxing. And special mention to all the boxing clubs in and around Waterford City and County and the South East, and all the work that you've been doing over the last year, and all the very, very best for the year ahead. A lot of interesting things happening at local level regarding boxing, particularly in juveniles, and also Matt Keane does a lot with the boxing and other mixed martial arts sports as well, in particular with boxing. Now, firstly, we are going to go to a piece I did yesterday afternoon with Maria O'Leary. Maria's down in Cheek Point, and she had a near-death experience when her car went over the edge of the road into a sharp decline, and it fell around 20 feet. It stopped then at a kind of a ledge, and if it had gone another 2 feet, if it had just gone over, it would have dropped another 50 feet. And she just wants the council to be, I suppose, somebody to do something in terms of putting an extra barrier on the side of the road there, and for people to be aware of it. So I spoke to Maria O'Leary on the hill, looking down over where she fell, and a little bit blustery, but this is what she had to say. What happened on the day?
On the 6th of December, I was coming down from the school about 1:45.
So you're coming down that road?
Yes, coming here, and my car veered to the left.
Okay.
And then it hit the
So it was
curb.
a bit of frost on the road, maybe?
Well, no, apparently there was oil or diesel on the road. And then it hit off the curb there, and then it went down here, and then it I turned around, and then next minute I knew I was going through the barrier down here where the orange plastic is right now, and it fell about 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet, and then my car miraculously just stopped there by that pole over there, the little standing pole.
I see it.
It stopped there. So if it had to go another 2 feet, there would have been a 50-foot drop, and I would not be here standing today talking about it.
So your car literally went down 20 feet, that is a good drop onto that.
Remnants of the
and
glass,
if it hadn't,
of the windscreen.
There's the remnants of the glass,
and if it hadn't stopped by that pole over there, it would have went a further 50 feet, and then it would have kept going, because then there's probably about a 30-foot drop then, so it would have kept on going. Now, I'm extremely lucky. I have... You know, my body has obviously after been through an accident where a car turned and went through a barrier. So I would say I'm broke up, but I'm okay.
So the car overturned a number of times?
Oh, well, it went,
flipped,
no, it flipped. It's on its.
Oh my God!
Sent to the pictures. It ended up on the car is a write-off.
How did you feel? How scary was it?
My mother asked me what was jammed, so I pulled my leg out of the runner, and I just remember thinking somebody was driving down the road and they did not even notice that the barrier was broken or that they had an accident. And I just was thinking that only before I got out of the car, someone mightn't even have noticed that it happened. But then I realised that it wasn't going to blow up, and I phoned my brother. My phone happened to be on the roof of the car, so I just, on the ceiling of the car, and I phoned my brother then to come down. And when he came down then, he saw how close the car was to actually going over the 50-foot drop.
You're lucky to be alive.
I'm very lucky to be alive, but my issue is now, Damien, that this accident happened on the 6th of December, and there has been nothing done.
And there's where you nearly went over the extra.
There's that little white pole there.
Yeah,
is
that's
where
where
I
you
nearly
stopped.
went over. Like it's absolutely amazing that nothing still has been done, and hence why I got onto yourself, because I'm perplexed.
Did anything like this ever happen to you before?
Never.
Scary.
Never. No, I never witnessed any. Thank God. And I'm very thankful that nobody was in the car with me, because, you know, I think I won the lottery by being able to stand here talking to you. But if someone else, my son or my mother, had been in the car, I don't think either of them would have been as lucky.
And you know this road very well. You've been up and down this road all your life, and you know the area, and literally just you hit oil or something, went over this ravine. There's the windscreen glass is still there.
There's my mirror.
There's the mirror of the car on the ground, and you went through that pole, went through the light fence, and the shock. It must have, as you say, you weren't able to think it happened so quickly.
No, I wasn't. No, honestly, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was going through a barrier. You feel the impact. The fence,
yeah.
I was going through the fence, and then if I had to go off the road up there, I wouldn't be standing here. And if I had to go off the road down there, I wouldn't be standing here. Now, I am standing here, but I am in pain. I'm here, and that is the most important thing.
And that is the most important thing. You can see pictures and an interview on Facebook with Maria, and the pictures of the car overturned. So we'll be getting in touch with the council and seeing what they have to say about that, what is being done about that particular thing. But anybody driving that road, be very careful. Now, in a few minutes, Julie Ward is going to be coming in from Ardkeen Superstores. Ardkeen and Stores food and wine expert. So we'll be talking to her. And one last call out for our competition. We have the Grow, Cook, Eat book, the DIY guide to growing, cooking your own food, retailing at €20. Cookbook, very nicely done. Michael Kelly and everybody in DIY, hope you're having a lovely Christmas. Well done on a great year. We also have the DIY Know It Almanac, the ultimate family guide to growing and cooking food throughout the year, and that is illustrated by Fatty Burke. That's €25. I say we've got some things in from Dungarvan Brewing Company there as well. So I suppose around €60-70 worth of prizes to give out. Text in the word Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells. And if you want to spell it with a G, that's fine as well. We don't mind. What's the difference, says this person? Merry or Happy Christmas? I always say Merry Christmas. That's from Jim and Modeligo. Jim, I don't mind Merry Christmas. I'm just not a Merry Christmas person. I've always said Happy Christmas. Keep your texts coming in. 083 3333 975, or you can call Laura on 051 846 123. Now a lot of people texting in Jingle Bells, Jingle, or if you want to, Gingle. Jingle Bells. I've never seen it spelled like that. Doesn't matter. Julie, thanks for the piece earlier on in the books. It was excellent. That wasn't you that texted it, I know. Hello, Julie.
Hello, Damien.
Another Julie.
Happy Christmas to you.
Many happy returns, and to everybody in Ardkeen. And,
thank you. And from them, indeed, to yourself and all the listeners.
And all your producers. You are the food and wine expert. There's a lot of food and wine experts there.
I think customer advisor now might be just a better term. There's no expert.
I know.
I learn more on the floor from my customers than they ever learn from me. There's a lot of valuable food and wine information out there. And
are you enjoying your job? You love
Absolutely, yeah, it's great. Yes, it's lovely. I mean, I've worked in food. I'm a publican's daughter, so I grew up around alcohol, but my interests were more in food through the years, particularly like not classical kind of big food, more alternative food, very vegetarian type food, plant-based and stuff. That was it a couple of years ago, but I'd kind of gone away from it, and I was working in business, and then I came back to Waterford a couple of years ago and have ended up working on Ardkeen with both the food and the wine, which is great. It's really enjoyable.
One of the things we're going to start with is non-alcoholic wines.
Yeah, that's a big trend.
A big trend.
Big trend. Obviously, I think we're all becoming a bit more health conscious, and the whole idea is to drink less and to drink better if you can. Drinking volume is not going to do anyone any good. You know, it's a bit of a false economy if you're buying your drinks very cheaply and then you're not feeling great the next day or whatever. So we're trying to encourage people to kind of look at what they're drinking, maybe drink a little bit less, but drink of a higher quality. And it's very satisfying, so you often need less. But certainly there are occasions where you'll need no alcohol, whether that's that you've chosen to stay off drink for a while, or whether you're driving, or you have to collect the kids, or you just want to be very fresh in the morning. So there's a couple of options that weren't there before.
Okay, so you've got a wine in here. How does one make non-alcoholic wine?
Yeah,
how do you take the alcohol out of it?
Well, they are de-alcoholized through a process of actually spinning. So the wine is made, no, not all, but let's say with a good producer, which is the one we have here, which is a German Riesling made by a very, well-established German producer of of alcoholic wines, particularly German Rieslings. In this case, it's the Letz brand. Now, they're making wines for a couple of 100 years. In this case, to make it de-alcoholized, it's actually put through a process of spinning, which removes not only the alcohol, but the water. And then the water is added back in at a later stage. So you've got all the good grapes, the proper grapes to make this particular wine, but the alcohol is removed. There may be a 0.5% left, or there may be none. The same applies with beers or ciders. And thankfully this year we've got some great options, and they sell really well. We have a full section. I mean, a lot of the commercial beers are doing non-alcoholic wines and beers, but the craft are doing them too, and that's great.
Yeah, like we're not going to be killjoys here. People,
no,
a lot of people will have a drink over Christmas,
and
drink
we've plenty
responsibly,
of those.
and
but
all
it's
that.
nice to mention. But I think those
it is nice to mention.
It
because,
is, and if someone says they don't want to drink, I think leave it at that. You know,
oh, very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the days where you felt you had to encourage everyone to have a drink when they came to the house, that's great, and they know they're welcome. You know, offer them something else.
Open up that non-alcoholic wine there now, please. Go on.
So it's probably a little bit. I'll give you a little tip. I have a beautiful glass for you here, Damien. Look,
very much.
It's like a little baby
glass.
sham glass. Yeah,
something George Best would have.
So this is a still Riesling. Now it also comes in a rosé, and it also comes in a sparkling. Okay. And for this, it's around €10 for this, but you will absolutely want a second glass.
Oh yeah,
and that's great. So you don't feel like you're being left out of the party, and you know it'll grace the table. It's a very attractive bottle. Again,
as you say, times are changing. We have drink driving, all that sort of. But the idea of still going out and people expecting to have a drink. It's still there, isn't it?
It is.
Unfortunate.
It is.
The pressure. Go on.
No, there is, and that's something I think we have to be conscious of. You know, people have various reasons for not drinking, and you know the repercussions for anyone who would stupidly chance taking a drink are huge. So none of us go there anymore, thank God. But anyway, I think it's up to us not to overly encourage
that.
That
is delicious. That's very nice. What's that called?
Yeah. That is the Letz. So the Letz, it's a German Riesling. So it's zero alcohol. And again, you'll pay around €10. And it's also there in a sparkling, which is very festive. You know, it's got all the bells and whistles. So if either for someone who's not drinking, or maybe someone who's not just reached 18 and they want to be part of a toast at home, and they can feel like they're part of the party, but they won't actually be having any alcohol. Yeah. We also have a lovely craft. I think it's the only Irish craft brewery that's doing a non-alcoholic is our own very own Dungarvan, and that's the main sale. That's a great, and that's a 500ml. I've had it in Dungarvan, I've had it in Waterford. It's absolutely great.
I tasted it. We were in Dungarvan in the summer and I had a taste of it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, and the last one, I won't just talk about non-alcohol, but the other one, which is a great, and we sell this online and we sell lots of it, is the Driver's Cider from Highbank Orchard in Kilkenny. And this is an organic orchard, fabulous couple, Ron and Julie, producing vinegars and ciders and brandies, but they do a non-alcoholic Driver's Cider, aptly named, and it's great. We sell a lot of it, and a lot of it online. You know, people will buy a bulk of it to have it in the house, and then they know they have this to offer if anyone comes.
For anybody who does want to take a tipple over Christmas, what would you be advising in terms of mixing drinks, obviously, without being snobby about it? But if you have a bit of turkey, or if you're having a bit of cheese, we'd say on the
there's
Christmas night, or
there's a couple of ways you can go. You can go classic with food pairings, and classic for turkey would be something like a Chablis or a Macon from France. Like basically it's an unoaked Chardonnay. And I know, like, we drank some people, myself included, drank a lot of heavily oaked, let's say less quality Chardonnay in the last 10 years, and have gone off Chardonnay. But really, it's worth revisiting. It's a fabulous food-friendly wine that is produced beautifully in France and in the New World. But certainly it works very well with Christmas food. It loves ham. It loves all the trimmings. So that would be good for a white. For a red, you want something like a Pinot Noir is great. It's one of the most friendly, versatile foods. So again, usually from the Burgundy region of France, or you can go into New Zealand. They're a little bit pricier. Pinot Noir is smoky, it's earthy, it works well with all those herbs and spices. It'll love cranberry sauce, it'll love ham. So it'll pour light.
You're talking as if the wine is alive. The wine is talking to us.
It'll pour light, but it's got lovely earthy tones underneath. But it'll really will, it'll tie up your old Christmas dinner beautifully.
Do you talk to the wine?
No.
Do you?
I wake up in the middle of the night now talking to the wines.
To the Pinot Noir.
Well, it's a lovely area. Yeah,
it really is. And like you've done courses for this.
Yeah, I've done some training with Mary Gaynor, who's a wonderful woman in Thomastown. And Mary, interestingly, she's been doing some work with Arkeen for training, and also she comes in at Christmas, and she's in at the moment. But Mary has a wine school in Thomastown, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. If you never were working in wine, it would be worth doing either the beginner or the second level, and then you can go on to diploma. And Mary was not alone. She was Europe's first master of wine. So they brought in this qualification about 25 years ago, a master of wine, a worldwide master of wine, and there was 11 people taken onto that course, and Mary Gaynor was one of them.
How long does it take to develop a palate so that you're able to distinguish your Pinot Noirs from your Cabernets? You mentioned about the Pinot Noir being smoky. And having certain qualities. Is that a case of swishing it around in your mouth? Is it a combination?
Certainly there are certain ways that you will guess the best, you will achieve the best caricatures of the wine. But I think it's kind of about just tuning into it when you're drinking it. It's like anything. If you're going to read a book, you wouldn't read a book, well, you might with one eye on the telly. You've got to kind of look at what you're buying. I never drink a bottle of wine without looking up the website and seeing what do these people hope to achieve. What do they say about it? How is it grown? And maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. It's a long process, and I'm very much on a journey. And I don't mean that in any pretentious way. I think everyone is on a bit of a journey when it comes to wine. And if your journey is on a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand and you love it, well, then enjoy that. If your journey is such that you'd like to kind of explore a few of the newer ones, and there are trends in wine all the time, but there's a lot of social media is great. You can tap into the Janice Robinson or the Fiona Beckett's or any of the Irish, the Irish wine writers, and it very easily you'll start to, your palate, you'll have to drink a bit, but you can certainly kind of learn about the different countries and styles, and it starts to make a little bit more sense after a while, but ultimately just enjoy it.
What was the most expensive bottle of wine you've ever drunk? I remember being in a restaurant in Edinburgh years ago. I think Richard Branson was part owner, and on the wine menu there was a bottle of wine for £1,050 sterling. No,
I haven't had that one, Damien.
No. I think something. I've been at a few things where I've been given a glass of wine, we'd say, and the bottle may be 30 or 40 euros, which is very expensive for
absolutely,
and that would be an exceptional thing.
Well, this is the thing about off-licence, buying from a good off-licence, and I mean, I would encourage people to come in, to ask, to inquire, to be directed, because there's great value out there. There really is truly great value, and we go to great lengths to make sure that we can offer great value. I mean, we're not part of the big multiples. So, obviously we're buying smaller amounts, but we have good relationships with our distributors and they want to give us value. And we definitely try to pass that on.
What was the best bottle of wine you've ever had?
Well, I'll tell you, the best glass I had was a Pinot Noir drank in Longville House in North Cork. It's an absolutely beautiful setting. And the wine was expensive and we were just having a glass of wine. So I didn't want to buy the bottle because I didn't think I'd drink it. So I said I'd have a glass. And then I had another glass. It was about €15 a glass. You can buy a bottle. Obviously, you can buy a great bottle for less than that. So probably that's as much as I've paid per glass. And I know there was a lot of talk recently about how much you'd pay. But, I kind of see it as I was in a very comfortable chair in front of a big fire with beautiful surroundings, surrounded by artwork. It was all about that as well as the glass. Yeah. Bottle, I can't remember what the most expensive one was, but I'm sure there's a few expensive ones ahead.
As you say, a lot of local, we'll be talking in a little while about food producers in Waterford. A lot of great local food and drink producers.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we're particularly blessed in Waterford. And, this is a tradition that goes way back. Waterford is a great tradition. I think the first coffee was important to Waterford. Certainly we've had Jacob's Green Crackers. We've had the bacon production. So we've always had a great food heritage in Waterford. And we're building on that. And notwithstanding the fact that we are in fact Waterford Foodie Destination 2019 as voted for by the public. This was something, and there was some help from a few others, but we all voted in that. And I think Waterford, being in the heel of the country, sometimes gets a little bit over maybe a little bit missed in terms of people passing through. But most definitely the work that's been done the past couple of years, people are coming for that, whether it's Dungarvan, Waterford or any of the beautiful county ones. We have Blackwater Gin, we have Thin Gin, we have the Legacy Ciders, Viking Ciders, Metalman, Dungarvan, Highbank. So, these are beautifully, very carefully crafted products. And that's just the drink. That's aside from all the lovely food.
Well, we'll be talking about the foods in a little while with Emer Ní Crúthar from Food the Waterford Way. Julie Ward, thanks very much.
Thank you, Damien.
Happy Christmas to you and the family.
Happy Christmas.
Many
and I hope you have something lovely under the tree for yourself. Maybe a little surprise.
Can't say. We've got Bill and Tom here. Bill, good morning. How long are we on for, you just asked?
Yes.
We'll give it a good 10 minutes.
That's just
is
about
that
enough.
Okay?
Because I tend to talk too much.
Tom Power, is it?
Tom Power.
How are you, Tom?
I'm great, yeah. And thanks for the opportunity for us to...
More than welcome to have you. I'm delighted to have you in. We're going to be talking about the Memorial Swim in Kilmurran Cove, and we're also going to mention the other swims. Tell me a little bit about the Michael Power Memorial Day swim.
in 1983, Michael Power and some of his friends were always swimming in Kinmurden. And they decided in August that they were going to continue on up into the winter and up to Christmas Day and do a first swim in Kilmurden on Christmas Day. Now, they did that, but just about a week before Christmas, someone from the Waterford Asthmatic Society contacted them and said, "We hear you're doing something mad on Christmas Day. If you're going doing it, would you mind doing it for charity?" So we put a few makeshift carts together and got a few bob collected. And actually, in fact, that first swim in 83, it was amazing. It got, it was pounds then, it got £600.
Wow.
I mean, just only for about a week and a half before Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, the following year, 84, we were up and running, organised, had a committee, and we had cars out, sponsorships going, as we're still doing to this day. And on the Monday night, the 17th of December, Michael, my brother, maybe I should have said that, he just died sudden. Nothing to do with the swim, nothing that way, like, you know what I mean? And as they say, I don't know, a massive heart attack, there's no hope of saving him. When he fell, he was more or less dead. And that was the 17th of December, so we were committed to do the swim. We had cars out. So we went ahead with the swim in 84. I forget who we did it for now, it doesn't really matter. And after that swim then in 84, and during the year then, the decision was made to call it Michael Power Memorial Swim.
Lovely.
And that's more or less, and we're going, and just while we're here, we have that swim 83 to now for various charities all over City and County, and it has raised over €600,000.
Wow.
In that period of time.
Bill, how did you get involved in this? Why did you get involved?
Well, this time I'm here on behalf of Waterford City River Rescue, and we've been nominated as beneficiaries of this year's swim. So as beneficiaries, part of our job is to get involved with the promotion of it. We've been involved in various bag packs and various other events with the people from the Michael Power Memorial Committee. So in other words, we will be beneficiaries, but we obviously help with the fundraising side of it when we're beneficiaries, which would be only reasonable.
And something like this is very important for ye and your members.
Well, this year we've had a slightly expensive year. We bought a new lifeboat, which obviously was quite expensive. And the other thing that caught us out towards the end of the year has been this life jackets controversy, which you might have heard of.
Yes, we did a piece about it, all right, yeah.
Well, we had 10 of these life jackets, which would cost us €700 a piece. So it's €7,000 for life jackets.
Yeah.
And you just suddenly have to throw them in a corner. They're no good.
And are they are that much, are they? That's including VAT, isn't it? Because some people were querying if they were that much, but they'd still cost a few hundred.
At the time, we were instructed by the Coast Guard. We work under the Coast Guard. We're
Yes.
a designated resource of the Irish Coast Guard, even though we're amateurs. They designate an organisation in each area to cover where they don't have a professional lifeguard service. So we have to go along with everything they tell us. And they said, well, we had to buy these specific life jackets, which had to be sent back to a specific place in the other end of the country to be serviced. So it's €70 per life jacket per year to be serviced. So it's 7,000 capital expense approximately, and approximately 700 a year to have them serviced. And now we're told, right, these are dangerous, you're not to use them, we'll put you off the board if you don't come out with the new type life jackets. The new type life jackets, we bought 4 of them at $400 a piece just to cover us. But eventually we'd like to have them, 10 of them, sort of for everybody.
Of course. So there's a lot of issues there regarding getting the money. Come back to you in a second, Tom. A quick mention, though, somebody just phoned in. A Superman kids bag with a lady's wallet has been found in the city. Contact reception for info. A time of Christmas could be a lot of money in that. So a Superman kids children's bag with a lady's wallet found in the city centre. And also I want to give a special mention to Jerry O'Grady, Mill Cross Halfway House. Jerry, you're the winner of our special GIY competition there for Jingle Bells. Thanks very much, Jerry, and happy Christmas to you. Tom, there's lots of other swims going on, and we want to wish everybody the very best. We want to give all those swims. For example, Dunmore East Christmas Day swim in aid of the Alzheimer's Society. Funds go to Pine Grove Daycare Centre. That's at 12 noon in the Strand. Ardmore Christmas Day swim, money for the RNLI. 12:15. We've got the Tramore Christmas Day swim for the WR Christmas Appeal in Vincent de Paul. T-Bay Surf Club at 11 o'clock. Newtown and Gillamine Christmas Day swim at St Martin's Special School in Waterford City. Event starting 11 a.m. Following a safety inspection by the RNLI. There's a great tradition now has developed regarding the Christmas Day swim, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose when we started in 83, I think the Tramore one would have been going. That's the Gillamines one. They were going then, and I'd say I think it's the Lions Club in Dungarvan. That was there ahead of us. But since we started, I think Stradbally has come into one now, and I think there's 3 in Tramore, is it?
Yeah,
there's
and the Dungarvan one as well.
Dungarvan one as well. Yeah, they're all there. But
they're all following you, are they?
No, but I mean, on Christmas morning, 12 noon we go out, and the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you go down there to Kilmurn on Christmas morning, and last year I think we were nearly 250 swimmers, and John Power, a photographer, you probably know John, and he gets them all there, and they all get in, and then just at 12 o'clock there's one big charge, and it's lovely to see, just to see the charge into the water, and then when they hit the water, the screams and the shouts and all that things like that. But just what I would say to the swimmers, just a cautionary note, when you're going swimming, don't stay too long. You're not. I mean, it's going to be cold.
In and out.
In and out. Just get wet, and don't be trying to better your neighbour. They can stay longer than him. And we will have the Bunmahan lifeguards there as well, and they've been with us for years. We appreciate that. And I would advise all the swimmers for the duration of the swim, it's not Michael Power's committee or Bill's committee are in charge. It's Bunmahan lifeguards are in charge. And
follow their instructions.
Follow their instructions the whole time. And come back out then, and we'll have a hot Toddy. Dunphy's Pub in Kill and the Well Bar in Kill, they'll provide a couple of hot shots things.
It's a great way to meet people, it's a great way to have the chat, and it's a great fundraising thing as well. It ticks all the boxes. Bill, will you be jumping in yourself? I
could well be. I might surprise you. If I can get enough sponsorship, it all depends. You've got to collect enough money.
Yeah.
But am I right in saying there's a rule about no wetsuits or anything like that? You must be genuine in swim.
Yes. Well, when we say no wetsuits, we're small children. Okay.
Yes.
If they want to wear wetsuits, we can. But in fairness, if you're getting sponsors to do a Christmas Day swim,
get in and.
If you're turning up in a heater wetsuit.
I do the Dunmore one, and just get in, get cold and get out. And
get out, that's all you can
suck
do.
in your tummy when you're coming out in case somebody's taking your picture, and just try and look half thin, and that's it, and no fat shaming going on.
And when they hand you the hot toddy, you might just get some of it to your mouth with your hand shaking. Might be gone again, you get there.
Bill McConnell and everybody in Waterford City Rescue, happy Christmas.
And same to you.
Happy and safe Christmas to you and everybody involved in the rescue services.
We'll be on duty, as we always are, 24/7. Anybody sees anything or is concerned about anything in water, dial 999, ask for the Coast Guard.
Tom, happy Christmas to you and your family and everybody involved in the swim on Wednesday.
And you, Damien, again. And could I just say, Bill's organisation this year, and every organisation since 83, it's not just the Michael Power Swim Committee, it's who we're doing it for. Both of us together put in the work, and what you put in, you get out. It's a joint effort between the two of us.
That's
and
true.
Thanks again for having us here, and happy Christmas to you.
Many happy returns. And to everybody involved in the other swims in Dungarvan, Dunmore, Ardmore, Tramore, Newtown and Gillamine. Happy Christmas and have a safe swim. Now, the Coast Guard and RNLI have issued a joint safety message to anyone heading to the water over Christmas. Both groups are reminding people not to swim alone and not to mix sports and alcohol. Text her in to check out. There's a story developing about Arlene Foster. It'll be on the news later on. Eddie Mulligan has texted in regarding the issue in Cheek Point and that the council have met with the developer regarding the safety barriers and the designs are being put in place. Another texter has texted in, could WR put the mass times for the city for Christmas on their Facebook page? Can't find a list anywhere. Also, a brilliant letter from a Waterford woman on the Sunday Independent yesterday. Yes, she's from Stradbally. We're hoping to talk to her tomorrow. Damien, congratulations to all the groups who organised Christmas swims. Councillor Joe Kelly. Damien, many thanks for giving boxing a mention. Happy Christmas. Now we're going to talk about all lovely things food. Aveen, good morning.
Good morning, Damien.
Aveen Nicrahoor, what's the organisation, please?
So we're all about food and drink the Waterford way, the way people have been doing it here for generations, and we're doing it today.
You have brought in a wealth of product. What have we got here in front of me?
Well, it's Christmas and you can't come with your arms hanging, so I just a few suggestions of some gifts and some things that you could do or bring or send to people at this time of year when you're thinking gifts, because there's some gorgeous stuff out there. And, you know, we all just love really good food and drink. And this is all stuff that's local and sustainable and made here, right here in Waterford.
OK, so a lot of food products, some books as well, and some grow boxes. We've got Flahavans, we've got Legacy, Dungarvan, coffee and oatmeal stout. What's in the big hamper there? Lots of projects in the hamper.
Yeah, that's our Keen. You know, they are the one-stop shop for hampers here. If you want something into the store, that's the Ardmore hamper. You've got a real range of stuff there across the southeast. The Lismore biscuits, the Meze, the Coffee House Lane. What else is in there? Just the chocolates, the elderberry, all those nice things that are beautiful to have around the house at this time of year when you're treating yourself. You know, so online. But then we also, on the other side of the county, if you're down Dungarvan, you know, you've got the country store. You go in there to Connor and the team and they'll whip you up a hamper of all of this kind of lemon curd from Glenmore, or Eunice Parr's beautiful mulled wine syrups, or cranberry sauces, bit of Crinneton apple juice and a Flahavans, and you're sorted, you know. I mean, it's the best thing to gift.
We were talking to Ballymacarbery. There's like all over the county, different, so much. There's
there
eggs,
really
there's
is.
like the produce is, and the quality is second to none.
It is. It's second to none. And I suppose, look, they're getting better at making it easy for you to. We're all getting better at making it easier for you. That's what we're about, to find and buy us. So if you go down to Tremor, Seagull have beautiful breads, and if you pop over to Meze, they're pulling together hampers of all. There used to be in Dunhill, as you know, in the Eco Park. So they have all their neighbours' produce there, whether it's the Irish gourmet butter or Keane-Hawes beautiful pesto. They bring all their produce together and they sell that in hampers too. So you can call into the deli there and they'll whip up something for you. You've got the Nutrilicious chocolate balls, for example, you know, gluten-free, sugar-free, lots of yumminess. They're lovely little things to pop into a hamper or just to give as a little gift to Mammy or Daddy. Ideal stuff to hint, hint, folks. But yeah, you know.
And cheeses.
Cheeses, we've got Knockanore and Knockalara all up in that little corner of the world, right beside Baldwin's where he makes the ice cream. So, you know, we are the dairy capital of Ireland. So beautiful stuff there. You'll get Knockanore all around. Knockalara, you'll find them at the farmers market. So do, you know, pick up something like that. It's nice to have a really good Waterford local cheese in your fridge this time of the year, and believe me, I would love that as a gift.
And I suppose as well, gifts like this, they're ticking a lot of boxes morally as well, because a lot of people want to try and get produce locally because they want to reduce their carbon footprint, they want to support local, and there's so many benefits.
That's it. These are all very sustainable businesses. This is all made here in Waterford. So it is, you know, it's all of that carbon footprint and moral, but it's also, you know, employment, jobs, keeping business going here locally so that we're each, you know, we're all supporting each other. We're supporting each other and off we go, you know.
How does Waterford box in terms of above its weight or below its weight nationally, do you think? Like, it has been an amazing year for producers in Waterford.
It sure has.
There's been an awful lot of restaurants that are opening and producing and using local produce. So are we boxing above our weight?
I think that we are now getting recognised for what what's been going on all along. We have this amazing history, the oldest port in Ireland, the first teas, coffees, all landed here, right here in Waterford. Such an important wine trading port. So we know the outside influence, you know, and we have this fabulous agricultural hinterland. You know, the Cummer Mountain lamb tastes just so because of where it comes from, the soils right down to the sea and the oysters. So the people here in Waterford, the food community, knew themselves we had it, but it's about time now we start telling others about it. So you people like Bodega who've been doing it for years, or you know, the Tannery or Eunice Flynn, Eunice Power, and then you've people like Momo who are taking that and going, or you know, or Meze, or so many of them, Everett's, you know, yeah. And Everett's, it's exactly it. And what that does is it spread it so everyone everyone is doing it, to be honest now, and knowing that you might as well have the local cheese. And if we're having beer, why not have the local beer? We've got Metalman, we've got Dungarvan. They're great products.
Drink responsibly.
That's exactly it, and it's about quality, not quantity, and all of that. But it's great ways to enjoy. You've got the coffee and oatmeal stout there now. It's the Flavin's oatmeal that's in it. It's the local coffee, and it's a nice gift. And you just take your time and just relax with that.
Not that we're growing coffee locally now, but
what we're doing is importing it and roasting it here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but the first cup of coffee that was ever sold, brewed and sold in Ireland, was sold in Coffee House Lane in Waterford. So that little lane parallel, of course, to the quay. So we do have a little history, and it's nice to celebrate that. And the first tea that came into Ireland landed there at the Athenaeum, of course. So it's you know what, we haven't been doing too badly, and it's important to celebrate that.
Éivinn go míle mágat, Canary and Tálat, and Nulla Cunaguit, and hope you have a great Christmas. And are you doing the turkey for Christmas?
Of course, yeah. I've got my local one sorted down from Cummer Mountain Farm there from Clotilde, and just got the ham there next door to the country store, so I'm sorted. Thank you very much,
Liam, and Nulla
Cunaguit.
Thanks very, very much, Éivinn. And now joining us in studios, Bernadette and Stan Phillips. How are you?
We're very well, thank you. We're delighted to be here.
Thanks for coming into us. We're talking about all things food there a few minutes ago. So,
absolutely.
Are you all set for Christmas? Yeah.
We were, but
we're not.
But
things have actually changed today.
Oh, go on.
Well, we may today or tomorrow be having another little grandchild.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks a
So
million.
our Christmas plans are totally up the wall. We have no idea what we're doing.
We're very excited.
So what does that mean? Are you going to be going somewhere else for Christmas dinner, or what?
Who knows? We'll take it as it comes. And
you want to give a little mention to somebody?
Well, yeah, we've really, I suppose, congratulations to my son, Colin, and Linda, his fiancée, and welcoming into the world our new grandchild.
Oh, well, congratulations,
Thank
Colin.
you very much.
And Linda, is it?
Yes.
Linda.
Lovely. Bernadette and Stan Phillips, you're from the Waterford Older People's Council, and one of the important things that we've covered on the show over the last year, and predecessor Eamon and Billy obviously, is anything to do to help older people, especially at times of Christmas.
Yeah.
Tell us what's planned.
Well, you see, I mean, first of all, I suppose to say that loneliness is a huge issue for older people, and just looking at a recent study again, I mean, there's over a third in Ireland of older people will talk about being really lonely. Christmas, of course, impacts that greatly, and you can imagine just being there on your own, or being out around town and watching everybody buzzing around with each other and being there. So we would be hugely concerned about this, and Waterford Older People's Council, and we'd be saying, first of all, to people out there, can you check in on, the older people in your community? That would be really important. Can you just see if they're okay? But what we were looking at as well, because the Christmas Day particularly can be very lonely. So this year we're starting an initiative which is happening in St Benilda's Centre, and thanks to Father Liam Power in the parish there for giving us the centre. And it really, we're just saying this is an informal get together, social. If you're out there and you're on your own and you'd like to call in for a cup of tea and a chat and maybe a piece of cake between 2 and 4:30 on Christmas Day, and there will be a few of us. It's an initiative that's come through actually from our members, Ray McGrath, Mary Smart, Stan and I, coming together to be there just for those hours. So maybe somebody'd like a chat. I'll sing a song for them if they like. We have a little bit of music, but just if somebody's on their own, to say, listen, you're not on your own. We'll be there if you'd like to just put your head in and say hello.
Why do you think this is important, Stan?
I think it's crucial because as an older person, what am I? I'm going to be 82 this year, and I can't imagine what it would be like if I was on my own. It affects your health, it affects your well-being, it affects your consciousness almost. And to just be, can you imagine to be on your own after a lifetime? But it for me, it's not just about Christmas. People are lonely all the time, every day of the year. And particularly, though, at Christmas, New Year, when there are holidays, when there are things going on, and you're aware of family that have gone, people you've outlived, all those things, and you're sort of sitting there with four walls around you and rubbish television on and nothing to do except maybe drink yourself into a stupor. And I actually know an older person who does that every year. He sits and drinks himself into a stupor and then wakes up on New Year's Eve.
try to just hide the pain.
Yeah.
To hide the pain, it is such an awful thing. So if anybody out there wants to come in, have a chat, I say, listen to Bernadette's wonderful singing voice. I'll tell a few corny jokes and maybe read a couple of poems. And if you, that lonely person, has a skill, has a talent, and wants to just do something at St Benildus on that day.
And what time did you say again it is?
Between 2 and 4:30.
Day.
On Christmas Day, because particularly Christmas Day, you know, you're sitting there and, I mean, as older people, we all have our memories. And as we get older, I suppose, they become more and more important. And, you know, older people as well, they may have lost loved ones, lost partners. Their children may be away, they may never had children, but they find themselves on their own for whatever reason. And I suppose, Damien, we'd also be very concerned because all of these things are not in isolation. Social isolation is one thing, but we're also aware that there may be people that are not in secure housing. And this is an issue, and it's a major issue. We might cover it again with you at a later stage. That, you know, we're kind of looking there at. God, I was reading an article about some of the older people being in hubs and homeless hubs and insecure accommodation for Christmas, you know. So they're real issues. And of course, we know that loneliness has a massive impact on our health and well-being, particularly chronic heart disease. And my goodness, we could talk about that again, not having 24/7 cardiac care here in the southeast. But our older population. And to say as well in Waterford, just looking at the census, we have a higher average percentage of older people over 65. I think it was 14.95% in the last census, 13.4% I think in that national average. So we have a lot of older people here, and we really need to be giving them our care and attention.
How lucky do both of you feel that you have each other?
Oh. Where do I start?
You can't put words on it. We are so fortunate to have each other.
How long are you together?
25
years. Yeah, 25 years.
I know all the dates.
Yeah.
6th of July 1994.
What's the secret to...
saying yes.
That's his answer. But no, it's a compromise, and it's loving the person unconditionally. You know, and we all have our ebbs and flows in relationships. Come on, who hasn't, you know? But loving that person above all else, and I think just being really grateful. You know, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know, but nearly 15 years ago, Damien, I nearly lost Stan with a quadruple bypass operation. And I tell you something, that focuses your mind as well, you know, the value of each moment that we live. And in fairness, Stan and I do, as much as possible, live in the moment of what we have. But situations like that obviously make you very, very grateful, you know.
I think quite often in relationships, if you've got two people, both of whom want to give more into that relationship than they want to take out of it, it really is being there for that other person, but also giving that other person the space to develop and to encourage that person to do those things that you think maybe are crazy. She does crazy things, and I love her for it.
Thanks very much.
And age is no barrier to develop new interests, new hobbies.
Absolutely.
So, at different ages, people still need that space, do they?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm 80, and since 81, and since I've been in my 70s, I've done modelling, I've been a silver surfer, I'm writing a new book, I've done some modelling, I've done some stand-up. I just don't, maybe we'll do another movie, Damien, you and me together.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, continuing on that passion and purpose. And I mean, I think that's why we would be so anxious, and the Waterford Older People's Council have a real focus on that. You know, we have age-friendly strategies nationally and all of that, and they're happening through the council. But in real terms, what does that mean for people on the ground? And that we would support people to get out there, be part of the community and be active. The amount of skills that we have with older people, and I often think they're just not utilised. And, you know, we would talk to people who have come to retirement age, and maybe work would have been their all for so many decades. And they would suddenly find themselves with all this time on their hands. And it's to bring focus into that, and to bring purpose into that, and to be able to utilise that.
Wouldn't it be great now if there's a couple of new relationships formed on Christmas Day at Benilda's?
Do you know something?
That
You know,
could
there's
happen.
an exciting thought and idea, because, I mean, that little spark. And for things like that to happen, and the more that we have that social interaction with people, you know, the more there is that opportunities, of course, for people to connect together, and to really deal with this epidemic of loneliness that we're having out there. And isn't it shocking to think, I suppose, in this day and age, with all the technology we have, and you know, we have so much, but yet to have stuff is not about that.
Bernadette and Stan, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for having us.
Geraldine has texted to say congratulations to both of you. I think what you're doing is great, and such advocates for the older generation. Wishing you a very happy Christmas.
Oh, well, thank you, Geraldine.
Both of you, continued success to the Waterford Older People's Council and the Christmas Day event, and all the very best for 2020.
Thank
Damien,
you very
and
much,
thank you so
happy
much for all
Christmas
you
to
do as well.
and yours. Thank you.
Now, thank you everybody for your texts and your comments today. Thanks to Bernadette and to Stan. Thank you very much to Julie for producing. Thanks to all the news team for helping out as well. We will be back tomorrow with our final show before Christmas Day. We're going to have a special show on Christmas Day as well. Our Christmas Eve show tomorrow. Any texts or messages you want to send in to loved ones abroad, please text us 083 3333 975 or email deisetoday@wrfm.com.